Hi, guys. Welcome to the Soul Sanctuary. How's everyone doing? Let me get a few things on the screen, okay? So, first and foremost, if you would like to join our online community, visit thesoulsanctuary.love for every platform I'm on right now because I'm live on multiple platforms. You should be able to see a pinned link with where you can go ahead and join to be part of our community. I do have quite a few different things that I want to share. First, oh, there's no sound. Can you guys hear me? Hold on. Can you guys hear me now? Hold on. Can you hear me now? Okay. My sound is very low. What is going on? Oops. Can you hear me now? Is the sound better? Does it sound better now? Should I just like talk really loud? Oh my goodness. Okay. We're having quite a bit of technical issues, both myself as well as Ocean Lover. Okay, better. Good. So I'll talk a little bit extra loud. Um, so we have quite a few different things that we kind of want to share with you guys today. We have been in talks, and really, it's time for us to move forward with building the sanctuary. If you guys are not aware, we run a nonprofit ministry, full on church, and right now it's currently strictly online. And what we're wanting and needing to do, what we're trying so hard to do, is go ahead and build a campus. Now, I already have 35 acres that I purchased quite a few years ago. I didn't know why Soul told me to purchase this land. I didn't know why. And so I found out why last year when we started the church. So that's what we're calling the sanctuary. It's a place where people can really just learn about soul, learn about reconnecting with the land. Let's see if Ocean can.
Hi.
How are you?
Hey, I'm well. I'm well. When we're really about to discuss some things that are really, really impactful on a completely different level, this almost always happens. So
Yeah.
we're like used to it now.
Yeah, that's how I know this is going to be a very intense, very important conversation we have with our entire community. This is a conversation we want to initiate with you guys, like a full on conversation. This is not us just making announcements. We want your input. This is not, it's not the Emmy show. I like to remind people that I'm not interested in things being about me. What I'm interested in is building something with our community and having it be a community project, something we build together, something we are all proud of, how we contributed to that, how we made that happen together,
Mm,
right?
love that.
So we're talking about building the sanctuary. While you were taking care of your microphone stuff, I was telling them how I had purchased several years back 35 acres of raw land, and I didn't know why I had purchased that. I had to. I just knew I had to. And at this point, I think everyone, you and I are very clear. Lindsay's very clear on this. The whole board is very clear. That land was purchased for the church, and it's going to be used by the church to go ahead and build an actual soul sanctuary. Do you want to share with them kind of the concept of what a soul sanctuary is?
It's something because that's a question that I actually had for you.
Oh, I beat you.
Yes, you beat me to it. I think before I try to give any type of explanation or view on it, I would like to ask you this though, because there are many people who have had bad experiences or they've even heard negative things in the news. And the first thing that will go off in a lot of people's heads, their minds, when they hear something like this, they'll automatically think cult.
Yes.
So I would like to know, how is this different? What is sovereignty, and how does the emphasis on sovereignty come into play with the soul sanctuary? What is the soul sanctuary? Is it a cult? Is it okay? What is it?
So first and foremost, I'm a personality type that's considered a Sigma. I am not interested in being a leader or telling other people what to do. I'm kind of like, do your thing, be healthy.
Okay.
You know, I'm all about empowerment of other people and zero control over others. There's
Yes.
encouragement, there's guidance, but there's no singular belief structure that I would be forcing upon others.
Mhm,
By
mhm,
definition, a cult has a singular leader who controls everything, like a dictator.
mm,
You know, you're separated from your family. You're not allowed to communicate with what's happening. You know, everything is kept very secret, and most times your civil liberties, in fact, are very much violated.
mhm.
I am not about that. Let me tell
Right.
you, I will have a full-on rebellion should anyone ever try that with me. So
Right.
that's the thing, is that you know, in the past, what I have had personally happen to me is that when people don't understand the gravity of the work you're doing, they're very quick to really push that fear button. They'll come up with terms like cult,
Mhm,
scam,
mhm,
all sorts
mhm,
of different, like, con artist,
mhm, mhm.
type
Yes.
of things. No, we have full disclosure with the things that we do. You
Mhm.
and I are both Sigmas,
Yes.
and it has a lot to do with, you know, us really being able to let other people have a safe space to
Mhm.
begin thriving. The
Yes.
world has operated on this fear model for so long. We've lived in states of survival,
Yeah.
fight or flight,
Yeah.
that type of thing. And it's just, I'm done participating in
Yes.
that. I've been done for years.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's not enough for just me to be done. I want everyone who's ready to be done
Yeah.
to have a space to be able
Mhm.
to do this.
Ooh, I
You know,
love that. And you know what? Hey, you basically ended up answering the question too in your distinguishing that from this. You have basically given us a lot of information about what this really is. And I love that. And I think that, especially with a community of people who love to give, one thing that I'm learning, I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm definitely learning. I've made progress. I'm learning that it's so important for us to understand the importance and the gift of giving to ourselves first,
yes,
right? Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
So we want to be in a space where, like you said, there's no survival, fight or flight type thing. We are actually in a space where we are allowing ourselves to receive that which is for us, the goodness that is for us. We are stabilizing and we're moving from just that lower rung of what is it? The hierarchy of needs. What's his name? Maslow, right?
Yeah.
Maslow. I can't remember.
Maslow.
Maslow. Okay, so we're actually attempting to. No, we're not attempting. We are consciously making strides to achieve self actualization individually and collectively. It's
Yes.
time.
Yes. And here's the thing, just to kind of be clearer as to what time it is. Um, Ocean and I, we were having conversation last night, and it was this thing of until we stabilize our internal environment, our home life, there's no possible way for us to go ahead and have a stable attempt to create the foundation for the sanctuary to exist. So this has been an internal as well as externalized community journey that we've been on.
Mhm.
That there can't be a cult if we're all on the same journey walking each other home. It's
Mm,
not a cult.
I love that. I love that.
So my vision for the soul sanctuary, it hasn't changed since 2017.
Mhm.
The energy is really intense right now.
It is extremely intense. It is extreme. Like I had to, while I was waiting, I had to kind of seek clarity. Like, okay, what is this energy? And it's like, you know what? It doesn't feel like it's bad. It just feels like it's a lot,
Yes.
like a rising up and it's like collecting right there. And all I can hear and feel is it's time.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So my vision for the sanctuary, um, it's not just gonna be like a piece of land where we're gonna put some cool houses and be bougie, and yeah, no, no, just no to that. Hard pass. My vision is to create an eco village and really begin teaching a select group of long term residents for the first sanctuary, where we will learn how to work the land. We will learn how to live with the land. I'm not talking about huts, I'm talking about sustainable living. I'm talking about environments that can really help to encourage and cultivate people's specific, very unique skills. Having artisans, artisans, groups of artisans who specialize in specific things, and they can have their own little subset, sub community within the larger sanctuary. For example, we can have one set of artisans who are very proficient with growing medicinal plants as well as products that we can eat for sustenance. And they would be positioned in a way where not only do they have the space to grow all the things that we are needing, they would also be next door to the people who specialize in herbalism. So not only are we growing our own, nutritional supplements and things like that, we have the people who have existing education that can teach others of what to do, how to process those plants, how to dose that, how to tell what people need.
Mhm.
We can have a space where some people can be all about metalwork, and they can be next door to the people who are all about mechanic work. Those go hand in hand. This is
Mhm.
about really creating communities where groups know, yes, you specialize in that, but you're part of a larger whole, and
Mm,
together we work synergistically.
I love that. So let me ask you, you talked about, and I know we've already discussed a lot of things, but I like to speak as if this is the first time some people have heard, and it is the first time some people have heard. So you talked about people living there. It is a place. Is it a place where people come to live? They stay indefinitely. Is it permanently? Is it a training ground? Will there be others? What is this? What is the concept that we're looking for?
It's kind of everything you said. So we want to first bring in a very small group that's going to help us to learn how to work out all the nuanced details of bringing so many different people from so many different walks of life, so many different regions, and being able to create an environment where we can live together in a village setting. Because, you guys, we all come from different walks of life. That gives us different perceptions. And if this is not done with respect and consideration for all the different types of people that could potentially be involved, it crashes and falls.
Mm,
People won't get along. It'll be the same thing as society is doing right now. So we really want to make this a completely different type of experience
mhm.
where we will bring in different people from different walks of life. There will be um, like a interview. There will be background checks. Like, we're not joking here. This is not like, oh, hey, I want to volunteer for the weekend. Like, no, the first set of people that are coming will be considered long-term residents, where we are asking for a longer term commitment, a year, 2 years, where we're going into a contractual agreement of what we are expecting, what we will go ahead and provide. All of those will be hammered out. And those long term residents will be the leaders and the guides of those who come next. Those
Okay.
who come next will be taught. And the goal is really to have global soul sanctuaries. We have to start somewhere, though.
Yeah, definitely have to start somewhere. Absolutely. So that first one is like that's the genesis. That's the pilot. That's where it starts, and from there it continues to expand. But these are going to. This is like a localized concept that goes global, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not the goal for everybody to, make this grand trip to the like, whoa, we will
No,
all be at the soul sanctuary. There will be local soul sanctuaries. The goal is to have them locally, all over the globe, several communities, several states, several countries.
at
Yeah.
least one or two on every continent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can even do Antarctica at some point. I do want to go to the Antarctic.
Yeah, but girl, y'all let me know how y'all doing because it's too cold natured.
So and a lot of the other plans that will come later also involve being able to hold like a week long workshop where
Mhm.
there's something specialized that's being taught, and we'll be able to have the facility that will allow people to stay for a week,
Yes,
more than just tents, like
yes,
something where they can stay and be
absolutely.
very comfortable in
Mhm,
an actual structure.
mhm,
I would
mhm.
also love to be able to have a small portion on this land where, we can set up another structure if people want to just come visit for the weekend, kind of like an Airbnb, right?
Mhm, mhm,
Where they can visit and get a good idea of, is this something that resonates with them? Is
mhm,
this something that they want to consider making a longer term commitment?
mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
And for the second group that comes,
Mhm,
um, it's kind of like this plan, this desire for them to be the missionaries who go and spread out, go back to their region after they've learned everything they are there to learn, and be able to begin, their part in their community, where
okay.
they can teach their local peoples to, live off the land, a lot of different ways in which they can become more natural in their living, creating their own toiletries, just small things like that. You
Mm,
know, it doesn't have to be this thing where our goal is to completely change the world overnight.
right, right. Absolutely. So we want to have smart goals. We want to have goals that are measurable, definitely attainable. We want to focus on not having everything at one time, not even having the paradigm that has to be how it is. We want to really, more than anything, what we're doing and If you disagree, you can let me know. But this is what I see. In essence, in a very, very summarized way, we are being the change that we want to see in the world.
Yes, yes. And it's more than just a sanctuary. The sanctuary would kind of be the hub of all the other projects and things that are in the pipeline already. For
Mhm.
example, I would love to have kind of like a contribution to the produce that's naturally and very organically grown. I
Mhm.
don't need that certification, that organic certification.
Mhm.
I am more than willing to grow the food organically and
Mhm.
go to farmers markets and let the people know it's not certified organic, but
Mhm.
these are the practices that we use to grow the food.
Mhm.
And it is a very reasonable price. I would love to use some of those things to create a bakery so
Mhm.
that we can go ahead and provide some wholesome foods that
Mhm.
are organic with wholesome ingredients to
Mhm.
homeless populations. I mean, it's huge.
It is huge. And let me ask you, even about that bakery and other things that you want to do there, there is an opportunity for social enterprise, right? Because when you have certain skills and you're able to teach others, you take the raw materials, you're able to teach others, and they can go on to teach others. Like that really kind of interloops, and that really helps to benefit everyone involved because there may be a person who doesn't have any they don't really have skills that are they have skills, but they may not know they have skills, but you're able to help teach them, right, to help give them something that they can actually do and they can actually sustain themselves with. And that doesn't mean they have to stay in this soul sanctuary. They can actually go on to help themselves, help their families, help other communities with those skills, right?
Yes, yes. And, honestly, I think you are being very, very honest and raw in the truth that there are many people who have lived pretty much their whole life not having developed a single skill
Mm.
because of lack of opportunity, lack of access to support and guidance. I want that to change.
Yes, it has to change. And I'm so happy that this is here to help that change. And, there are definitely people who have not developed even one skill. And there are also people who have multiple skills, but not the opportunity.
Yes.
And so there's so much bureaucracy, so many barriers, structural barriers to kind of hinder people in what they really can do. But once given the opportunity, that can change. That can change an individual's life. That can change things for generations to come. So,
Yeah.
what about? Let me ask you because speaking of development, this is heavily focused on community development in the different areas. You talked about food security. You talked about the eco village. What are some of the other areas that you'd like to have this addressed?
It's really important for us to recognize that our future is contingent on the way the children are raised
Yes.
because they are the future.
Yeah.
And the types of traumas they sustain, the lack of advocacy and support, the lack of proper guidance. It's not because of bad parenting, it's because people have struggled and then they became parents
Mm.
before being able to heal their own wounds,
Deep. They.
right? So I'm all about providing support for parents. I'm all about us recognizing the blame game has to stop. We have to stop judging. We have to stop condemning. We have to stop shaming. There's a lot of parents that need a lot of help. They want better for their children. They don't know how.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And, with the way the new children are, they're very difficult to parent if you don't understand the way their mind functions. They
Mm.
are very much sovereigns. You cannot dictate anything to them.
Mm.
And a lot of the old parenting styles, it's just not going to work anymore for this new generation.
Mm.
And it's something where I know I didn't have all these babies for no reason. I have a ton of children. And I tell you, they have taught me so much about what new children need,
Mm.
right? So it's this thing of really understanding that it's not necessarily for a lack of desire or because you're a selfish person
Mhm.
that you parent the way you do. Oftentimes it's because you literally don't know better. It's not to make an excuse either. It's
Right.
to help people understand if we want to change, we have to get to the root of the issue,
Mhm.
which is the halting of the perpetual cycles that create generational traumas.
Mm.
It has to stop somewhere.
It does. It does. I love that. And as you're speaking about this, the SEI comes to mind, the Sovereign Empowerment Initiative comes in mind. How will SEI, Sovereign Empowerment Initiative, for those who don't know, how will those programs be intertwined or just incorporated in the Soul Sanctuary?
Well, those programs are really going to be the core of what we're teaching. As of right now, we're still in the works with trying to get that launched online and have a virtual workshop,
Mhm.
ongoing virtual workshops that will be provided for free. So
Mhm.
that way people can begin shifting their mindset. Your life changes the moment your perception does.
Absolutely, absolutely. So there would be both the virtual and physical programs that are offered, right? Do you want to talk a little bit about those programs? And then I know we definitely have to get to the community because we're doing everything, we're building this together. You know, we don't want to come across as though we really think we have all the answers, guys. We are really focused on collaborative problem solving. This is what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
So we, the Sovereign Empowerment Initiative has 4 programs.
Well, right now we're focusing on two just so that we can ensure viability of each of the programs we launch. So
Mhm.
the first two we're going to be launching is the Divine Feminine because let's face it, there are so many single mothers out there who are really in need of support to halt those generational trauma cycles. Right?
Mhm. Mhm.
We're really looking for the children who need the support. And the way we plan to support them is by empowering the mother.
I love that. Now, is that limited to the single mothers? Is it limited to the mothers, period? Or will they be a special focus and it's for all women? Is that how that works?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. The Divine Feminine program, that's
Mhm.
all about teaching financial stability, independence, building equity for your personal life as well as a member of community,
Mhm.
learning about different ways in which you can apply for programs, connecting you with the
Mhm.
different programs, creating maps for community services that
Mhm.
are available to people. Are you
Mhm.
guys aware that in any county, any city, there are clinics that don't care if you have insurance? They will provide you service depending on what your actual situation is. And, you will have to go through a process, but depending on your situation, they can provide services that will help with chronic conditions at low to no cost. There are cost free dental services that are available to you. There are programs that can help with rent, with utilities, with long term housing, with purchasing a house. I mean, these are things we're not aware of.
Mhm.
Why are we not aware of it?
You're right. You're so right. So, what about the aspect of support also? Is that an important component in that program?
Yes, yes. A lot of parents, not just single mothers, but single parents, period. And even, parents who have a partner but function kind of as a single parent. They feel overwhelmed, they're exhausted. You cannot think clearly when you are being crushed by the emotion and the stress of life.
Mm.
And those people need support. It'd be nice if we could set up some type of um, offshoot of the Divine Feminine program where, once a week we'll have a program, a date where all the children come. I love playing with kids. Let me tell you, I play with them till they knock out. They're like, we can't stand you, Auntie Emmie. You too much. You too. Who gave this woman coffee?
Wow.
It's decaf too, but I will be.
Well, I don't even know how decaf coffee keeps you up for days like that, but okay.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, like being able to know that, hey, your child is in a very safe, very wholesome place, playing with other children, learning how to interact in a healthy way, learning healthy boundaries, being given healthy homemade snacks. I
Mhm.
mean, that's so near and dear to my heart.
Absolutely. I love that. So the Divine Feminine program is a major component, and you talked about two. So what's the other component? What's the other program?
Just as profound as the eco pantry.
Mm,
Eco pantry, that's where not only will we teach you how to, consider nutrition and cook and use whole ingredients, find the cheapest way to get these whole ingredients. We would love to teach you how to grow your own food, how to do food storage, even possibly even food what's it's not scavenging, gathering, right? Going out into the wild and really just knowing which foods are edible, which are not. There are so many different medicinal and nutritious plants that we have no idea. It's just a weed in our backyard.
you are so right. I have a friend, well, actually, both of them are into it. First, it was the husband, and then the wife started getting into it too. They are really good. They are just like, they started with their own yard, their own neighborhood. Now they go anywhere they go, they just find stuff, they just bring all kinds of stuff. It's like very, very interesting, but not just interesting, it's vital.
It
It's
is.
vital because, especially in this day and time, we don't know. So let me ask you this, Emmy. That all sounds very good and I love it. Let me ask you this though. There are going to be some divine masculines that hear this and like, mm, I know Emmy is not all about that only female empowerment stuff, but what about us? You know what? I mean, because we're important, like we matter. What about us? What do you say to that? Is there a divine masculine
Yes.
component? Okay.
There definitely will be. That was something that we originally were already offering, but I did want to take a step back and make sure the viability component was absolutely there.
Okay.
So, with the divine masculine, the goal there is to create a space that's safe enough for the masculine to enter into a space of softness. Far too long, men have been forced into a gender role. You're not allowed to feel, you're not allowed to express, you must destroy, 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 or else you're not a man. That type of teaching has to go. It has to go because it doesn't create a whole person. Create someone who's traumatized from birth and is very much fractured. You know, we have to shift the way men see themselves and what their proper place in our life is.
Okay. And I like that. So men can be they can feel safe to be
Who they are.
you, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Just who they
And
are.
can they feel safe to be in their more masculine aspects too? Because some are maybe not really used to that strong masculine energy, and people automatically think, "Oh, that's toxic," or blah blah blah. But how will this help them as well as them to feel safe in the world, being both soft and both strong? How will that help?
It'll help them because they'll start functioning as a whole being.
Mm,
And as they function as a whole being, their presence becomes such a crucial component
mhm.
in the divine female's journey as well as the children.
Absolutely.
You've met my children in real life, and you've met my husband in real life,
Mhm,
and my husband is balanced within his space.
mhm,
Like you go approach his family wrong, you're going to see that toxic masculine come out, meaning he's going to function as a protector.
right.
But you leave him in his space, or you see, like, he will be joking around.
Mhm,
He'll allow some of the feminine aspects. He is very good at cooking. He is very good at cleaning. He is also very good at working and providing and being the sole breadwinner. There's no limitations for my husband because he's a whole being.
mm,
And that's the thing, it's like We've taught men that their place is outside of the home. They're
Mm,
not welcome in the home to be who they are because they have to function in a specific role. And if
mm,
they don't succeed in bringing home all the money, then, they failed. And it's like, have they?
mm,
Is that all they're worth? I
mm,
found that, my husband, he was the primary breadwinner or the sole breadwinner for
mm,
about 17 years of our marriage.
mm,
And I mean, we've been married 20. It hasn't been that long that I've become, the breadwinner.
mm,
He's never complained. He's always provided. And it was this thing of me realizing our children need to know their father.
mm,
We're raising young men. They need a man in their life to show them, like, there's no shame in washing dishes.
mm,
There's no shame in being able to earn the money. There's
mm,
no shame in being a whole being.
mm,
There's no shame in respecting women and having family values that uplift the family above all others.
mm,
There's no shame in any of that.
mm,
And when people try and shame you, you don't have to care. You don't have to get violent. You can simply be like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
mm,
You
mm.
know? So there's a lot of things that men really need, and they need to heal just as much as the women.
Yeah,
They
I
really, truly
agree.
do.
I agree. And we need each other. We
Yes.
need each other. So let me ask you about a little more about the Divine Masculine program. Will that be men teaching men?
It will be both.
Primarily?
Both.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. The things that men need to learn from women, obviously, a woman should teach that.
Mm-hmm.
The things that men need to see another man doing, because the reality of the human condition is we learn from observation, not from being lectured, not from being shamed,
Mm, mm,
right? So, how is my husband teaching our children? By being himself in front of our children,
mm,
seeing how his behaviors are affecting the entire environment. That's how our children are learning.
I like that. And I like how both of those programs have a lot of emphasis on emotional maturity and in the process of us trying to become emotionally mature, whole beings. Also, does that program, just like the Divine Feminine program, does that address some of those skills and basic needs and also self-actualization components? Does it also?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Whatever our organization is willing to do for women, we have to be also more than willing to do for men. This
Oh,
is not about we're only supporting one sex,
mhm,
one ethnicity, one
mhm.
region. This is about a global project.
Yes,
Yes, it
yes.
has to start somewhere, but this is
Absolutely.
about, yeah, the human condition at large.
Absolutely. I like that. I like how you go from you have the larger goal in mind,
Mhm.
but you're starting from the basics. And one thing I would like to say too before we go on is there's a real reason for that because to really have that impact that we're trying to have, we need to focus on the most vulnerable populations, the most marginalized populations. And statistically speaking, and we know that the most impoverished households are those that are headed by unwed mothers, single mothers. And so that's why we're starting at that need, at that basis, because we see how the children are affected. We see how the whole family structure is affected. And so it's not the goal to only focus on the women. It's not the goal to focus only on the women. It's not the goal to focus only on the man. It's the goal to start with those who need it the most, those who are most affected first.
Yes.
All right.
And, to add to that, historically, when it comes to family courts, um, primary custody historically has been shown to be granted to the mother.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So I want to make clear, we're not just looking at, okay, women are um, the most at risk, and this, because I don't want to paint the image of women being weak or failures. The
Right.
reason we chose a women is because that's how we can access the children and support the children.
Mm, mm,
So our primary effort is to really begin affecting the youngest,
mm,
because as they get older, they're going to carry on the work. And as they carry on the work and teach others, we can go ahead and spread out our work. So it's really our main focus is the children,
mhm,
and it just so happens that based on our statistical research, statistically speaking, most family courts will give primary custody to the mother. And it's not for you or I to be like, well, that's where they will. No, we're not trying to get into the debate or the legalities or any of that.
mhm,
What we're focused on is how can we support the future first and foremost. And
mhm.
that will be, the basis of where we start is where the children are.
I like that. I like that. And I do want to go right back to the masculine just one time because we talked about the support for mothers in the divine feminine, but also a very important component of that divine masculine program is also the support for fathers too.
Yes. And to be honest, if you are a single father, which there's an increasing number of single fathers, and we haven't yet released the Divine Masculine program, there's no reason you cannot participate in the Divine Feminine program. None. There's no reason once that program is launched that you can't come to us seeking advocacy and support for your single parent status and your children. We're not going to turn you away and be like, I'm sorry, you're the wrong gender. You have to wait like 6 months or a year. We're not ready for you. No, if we have the resources to assist you and you are a single father, the same resources available to single mothers will be given to you as well,
I
the
love
same access. Now it's just a matter of ensuring that the programs we launch again have the viability, and
it.
that way we can be very focused and have that very much solidified and ready before we move on to another program. I want to make sure we don't stretch ourselves too
Yes,
thin.
yes, very important. Very important. I love that. And thank you so much for clarifying all of that, giving all that information because it's very important. Sometimes we have conversations and we think we're communicating effectively, but we don't realize how such important details can make the person that we're talking to, speaking with, feel excluded. But it's not even about that. We just aren't thinking, okay, this needs to be mentioned. So thank you so much for taking so much time for that. I would like to ask now, Emmy, do you think we should go to the community and ask what their vision is? What are your individual visions for the change that you want to see, the change that you want to be in this world? Again, everybody has their hammer, everybody has their whatever, we're all building this together. And it doesn't have to be a hammer. I'm not so handy. I have things I can do, and that's valuable. Hey, I will never tell anyone, hey, you know what, give me a low certificate because I can get things done. Honey, please, you'll have something messed up. You would wish you never gave me that.
Girl, slide that over to me. I guess
Yes,
give
that's
me something built, I will build that
That's
for you.
right. And it's very important. We all have our own different skills, our own different ways in which we can contribute. They all matter. So what are some things that you all want to see? What are some skills that you have? What are some visions that you have for the children, for yourselves, for the soul sanctuary? What are some visions that you have? What are some things that you want to do? What are some conditions that you would like to see change? And how do you think they can be changed? What can we do right here where we are to start?
Yes. I want you to guys also think about what could change your life right now. Taking money out of the equation, what can really support your ability to support yourself, to stabilize your life? Are you needing someone to talk to? Are
Mm,
you just needing someone to be able to take a look at your life and point out to you the things that maybe you're not seeing that has led to some of your struggles, right? So Louise has said, I want to teach hair, community taking care of elderly during the dying process.
mm, mm.
Oh,
Wow.
mhm.
That's profound. And look
That
at
is.
these areas. But
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I don't really, I love that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Louise, I'm gonna tell you something. That especially touched me. I think that was something that was on the list of things we're gonna discuss at some point on the podcast too, Emmy, because there's a lot of talk about doulas and the birthing process, but there's not a lot of talk about death doulas or people who help with that transition to death, the other, I
Yeah.
love that. And guys, I have to say this, it especially touches my heart because there are a lot of people that are dying alone. They're
Yeah.
dying alone, right?
Yes.
They have no children to be there. They have no aunts or sisters or brothers or cousins, nieces or nephews, sometimes not even a good friend to be there. This is very important. And all of these things matter. Oh, she talked about hair.
Mhm.
That's important. I got my hair wrapped up, girl. If you would have been here, I'd be like, okay, you know what? How about you do something real quick?
I mean, and that's something that's really important for all of us to kind of hear about, because for many, we come from cultures that place less emphasis on hair,
Mhm.
and some cultures really teach so much about the power of your hair, that
Yes.
that is your crowning glory. And being able to reach the people from communities who have the emphasis on hair in that way, and being able to support them. Another really important thing that pops in my head is children who are biracial
Mhm.
and they have a different texture hair than their mother.
Mhm.
That's something that often creates a lot of trauma for the child, because the mother doesn't know what to do,
Mhm.
and being able to assist mothers learn the skills of how to
Mhm.
properly care for the different textures. That is
Mhm.
so important, because it teaches a child to love themselves as they are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And art. Art can be very powerful for social change. She also mentioned teaching expression and dance and music and theatrics and other arts. This is all very important. Do we have a form, Emmy, that people will be able to kind of list some of their talents and gifts and some things that they want to do and some things that they want to see for this individual and collective vision?
Yes. So here's the thing. The forum is for those who are already members of our ministry,
Mhm.
our online community, private community. Um, we were talking about creating a community founder circle. This is going to have a very limited number of seats available. This founder circle is going to really help us be a kind of like a bridge between us and the community, simply because you and I and Lindsay were very, very busy. We're trying to launch so many different things. We need members of our community who have these ideas, who have the leadership skills, who have the desire to stand as a member of the foundation of what we're trying to build.
Mhm.
And with that, we will be accepting applications. It's in, if you're already part of the soulsanctuary.love, you simply log on. And once this live stream is done, I'm going to go ahead and publish that application page. We can talk more details about that. The reason we're not opening it to the general public is people who are in the soulsanctuary.love, that's our private community, our private ministry area. You have shown us so much
Mhm.
support that we have developed a level of trust, knowing, you know what,
Mhm.
you're true about your wanting this to happen. It's not to say that people who haven't joined are not true in their desire. I'm
Right.
saying you have consistently shown
Yeah.
like you are willing to go out of
Yeah.
your way for this community. And it's
Yeah.
not for me. I'm talking about for this
Mhm.
community.
Yeah.
And in showing that to us consistently, because we've been watching you guys. We've been
Observing,
seeing
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're paying attention to everyone. And
Mhm.
there are some who have been stepping into that place of guiding,
Mhm.
leading, encouraging, protecting,
Mhm.
nurturing. It's beautiful to see. And
Yeah.
so we want to make a little bit of an official thing, the community founders circle. Again, it's not going to be a lot of people. You're
Mhm.
not going to be asked to boss others around. It's kind of like being able to, meaning you're like,
We didn't do that thing here.
mm. But it's this thing of really creating the foundation from our community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the form. I can create another form where they're simply just giving us some of the information suggestions, and they're not actually trying to apply to be part of the community founder circle.
Right. Right.
Um, but yeah, you guys have no idea how much we've been brainstorming and really trying to make everything happen. We have, though, had to shift a little bit of our focus to our own personal households the past few weeks, making sure everyone's healthy, making sure that we're understanding kind of where this project is going to take each of us, how it will affect our households, and how
Mhm.
to calibrate our households to really begin witnessing what's about to happen.
Yeah.
It's a lot's about to happen. I don't know how to quantify it. I
Mhm.
just feel it in my soul.
I do too. I do too. And even the conversations that we all have had in those exclusive chats with the people that have joined the community, like you can feel that they can feel it. Everybody can feel it. And I remember last year's, oh my gosh, last year, maybe a few months before this time, we had a very deep discussion about the soul sanctuary. Look how much progress has been made just in that short amount of time, Emmy. And I have a feeling that today's conversation is going to be, whew, you can only imagine. It's like, can you imagine a touch up to the last discussion? Like,
Yeah.
whoa, that was very special, guys. I don't know if you all remember that, if you all were there. That was very special. That was so special.
It was. It
Mhm.
really, really was. It's this thing of the energies that are being presented into the world right now are the energies that are going to fuel our rise as a community.
Mhm.
I can feel the shifting within me. I'm less willing to fight the process. I am less willing to refuse the help, to communicate the need for help. It's
Mhm.
the shifting that's necessary, because if we don't address the blockages within us, those blockages will also block our community. I
Absolutely.
remember I was telling you, Ocean, and,
That's
and
all. Can't say nothing either, because go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
so I'm gonna bust you out, girl.
I'm gonna bust you
Um,
out next. Go ahead.
that's okay. So Ocean totally does not like to receive.
I'm feeling better.
She's doing better. She's doing better. But it's this thing of like there was such a mirror where I know what that's like because I'm like that too. It's very hard to receive, to allow ourselves to accept, embrace what's being offered. And don't even try getting me to ask for help or acknowledge I need help,
Mhm.
right?
I don't have to bust you out. Okay, she's right, guys. Because I'm like, she can't say anything because this woman is the same. So okay, I don't have to bust you out. Go ahead.
I bust myself out, girl. I bust everything out. you know so, and that was the thing, was that I had this conversation with Michael, and I try my best to be as respectful as possible with wherever someone is in their journey. And
Mhm.
I did recognize that she has the same struggles as me, and Michael was telling me that I had to speak to her about it, and I was just like, no. She just agreed to move. Like, sir, do you want her to come or not? So we waited until you were actually moved. We waited till she was moved. And I told her what Michael had said to me was that when you block yourself, you block the board. As a
Mm,
member of the board, you will block what comes to us if you don't allow yourself to receive, because it's this community we're building. It's like a singular existence that we're forming together as a board. And if you're going to block yourself, then you're going to block all of us. And
mm,
it was really this thing of, you and I both were someone who's willing to suffer for other
mm,
people, but are we willing to allow other people to suffer for us?
mm.
No.
Yep.
And that's how he got me to stop doing that.
Mm.
And sometimes Ocean over here will be like, "You're gonna block the board."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's
girl,
the
nah.
same thing. I'm like, you know, before she started that nonsense, I'm like, let me run that back.
I'm like,
You know what? I'm gonna thank you though, because you've helped me. You've helped me along that journey. And I know that I deserve to receive the goodness that I give. There's nothing wrong with that. Not only is there nothing wrong with that, but it's a gift. And in 2023, guys, I'm telling you, that's how I'm looking at it. Like, I am ready to receive the goodness. I'm ready to receive the goodness just like I'm ready to give the goodness.
yes. And that's the thing. We need to be willing to receive what is offered at the same degree we are willing to give what we offer,
Hmm.
because anything short of that is an imbalance.
Hmm.
And so for me personally, with the sanctuary, that is basically a concentration of how much I feel I've received from our community, like a physical manifestation of how much space, safe space I have been given by all of you, where you maintain that space for me, maintain a sense of safeness for me to be more of who I am, how I am, where I am, you
Hmm.
know? And a lot of what we're going to be doing together as a community is really begin to step into the skills we have but are not aware of.
Hmm.
Allowing the people who have the experience to really encourage us to blossom as we sit and observe the light of their truth. It
Yes.
has to start somewhere, right?
Does. I love that. And I don't we've talked about some components of community development, personal development, but and emotional and everything. But what about the energetic
Oh,
components? Will that be a part of the soul sanctuary?
yes, absolutely. So, part of what I want to do is something very revolutionary. I have the capacity to supercharge food with my energy. And what I plan to teach those who are long term residents of the Soul Sanctuary is how to work energy at the very least, the basic levels, so that the food you grow will be super infused with the energy that's needed.
Mm,
And the people who will partake in the responsibility of running the bakery, of producing baked goods that we can ship globally for those, the occurrence of a grain intolerance is going to increase.
mm,
Humans were never meant to eat grains.
mm,
We were never meant to digest the grains.
mm,
And so it's going to increase, and there's going to be an increased need for the type of things that I have specialized learning how to cook, how to bake. And, I'm not, oh, let me tell you, girl, oh my God, here's the evidence. This is why I was late. I'm so ashamed.
Well, you didn't have to take it, girl. You went like this thing go.
That's why I was late. I'm
Ooh.
so ashamed. I'm not, but I am.
Wow. Oh
But
my,
I am.
you just made my rap come almost off. You caught me off guard with that, girl. I'm so happy that you enjoyed that. Guys, it touches my heart. Girl, that touches my heart. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you enjoyed that because goodness knows I love y'all's food too. Oh my gosh. I love y'all's food.
Um,
That's my cake, guys.
my husband had to go. go over to her place to go take care of some stuff. He made the trek, and he came back with some goodies, and this, it was filled with some decadent chocolate cake, pound cake type thing, and I was just like, listen, nobody touched this. I will hurt you.
Oh my gosh.
It was so good.
I'm so
It
glad
was
you
so
like it.
good.
Thank you.
But it's this thing of being able to teach people how to help others to a degree that can alter their lives.
Mm.
The reality of the energy work that I do, it has the capacity to correct and rebalance physiological conditions to the degree that's not quantifiable by modern medicine.
Will that be a part of the soul sanctuary?
To a degree, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone that stays at the sanctuary has to know to some degree how to harness their energy. We want everyone to be an empowered equal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important for them to know how to work their energy,
Mm-hmm.
how to sustain their energetic needs themselves.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want it to be a thing where someone is going to be, like a weak link
Mm-hmm.
and expose everyone else to
Yeah.
parasitic energies.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So it's important that we all know how to work energy, at least to a basic degree.
Mm-hmm.
At least to a basic degree.
I like that. That's
For for people who have ever tried the things that I have cooked, whether it's baked, whether it's chocolates, whatever it is, I always hear people telling me that the food that I cook, like they've never tasted anything like that, or they're wondering, how the heck did you make it taste this way? You guys, I figured out how to make bread taste like Fruity Pebbles, all natural, no artificial flavors, no artificial colors, no none of that. No natural flavor beaver anal sac. Natural
Mhm.
flavoring is beaver anal sac. My kids know this.
Yeah.
So there was no natural flavoring and it tasted just like Fruity Pebbles.
Mhm.
So there's ways to figure things out. But the thing that makes the food I make so different is that I put all my love, I infuse it into the food and it makes it taste different. You know, it makes it taste amazing.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. Let's see what else everyone wants to. I'd love for the children to come learn working with their chi and all other aspects of the sanctuary.
Mm.
One of the things that I learned as I was taking another quick refresher course on church compliance in order to maintain good standing with the IRS is that I need to have a regular program for the children
Mhm.
where we'll be teaching our beliefs and all of that about energy,
Mhm.
about creation, about all of that. And that would be available to the children and any parents who want to join.
Mhm.
Um, that's one of the programs I'm in the process of creating. That's definitely going to be a part of the sanctuary.
Mhm.
When you teach a child how to embrace who they are and how they are, the way they were designed, uh, miraculous things can happen. Miraculous things can happen. I've
Mhm.
witnessed this myself. A while back, one of my plum trees had died. It looked like it had died. And one of my children was going through an ascension cycle and he had been surging and surging energy. He didn't know what to do with it. It was affecting his health. And I began to tell him what was happening, part of his ascension mechanics, and how to disperse that energy. So one day, and this is within like 3 or 4 days, okay? It's not like I was teaching him for months. This is within like 3 or 4 days. He was outside with me. I told him, you might feel better if you're outside, getting some sun, fresh air. We were out there and I asked him, "Do you think this tree is dead?" And he was with it for a few minutes and he goes, "Not yet, but it's very close. It's very deeply asleep." And I
Mm.
told him, "Please wake it up." He goes, "I can't, mommy." And I was like, "Yes, you can. All that energy that's making you feel sick, put it in the plant, wake it up, ask it to come back to us."
Mm.
Tell me why it grew a complete different trunk within a few days.
Mm.
A second tree grew literally right beside it, climbed up the first tree. He did that.
I can tell you why, guys. Because her kids be like the kids on the Matrix. They just adding the spoon. I don't know. I don't know what that kid said, but I promise you, all her kids are like that. It's Haley, focus, or I we don't talk like that, but we're on that Matrix stuff, y'all. They really are. Oh, sweet too. Yeah, beautiful.
I don't believe there are incurable diseases. I believe modern medicine is not as modern as we think, and
Mm,
that we are prevented from learning the things we need to learn about our capacity to regenerate and heal. And they don't want us better. They
mm,
want us perpetually sick and a perpetual customer.
mm.
Uh,
So
and
do you
I was
think those
responding.
logistics will help to change the paradigm there too? Do you think that it will lay down some of the groundwork or continue some of those things to help change that paradigm?
Well, we do have to kind of create a differentiation because Soulwork Synergistics is the church organization, and the information that would need to be taught to help Anna correct her, incurable disease would be more along the lines of what my academy does. My
Mm-hmm,
academy is an esoteric academy.
hmm.
It's an esoteric academy that was designed for quantum divergence. It's not just a divergent, it is a quantum divergent. We don't learn in a linear line.
Hmm.
And so you don't have to wait for the soul sanctuary to be fully, in the role of everything and have the sanctuary established for you to learn these things. You can absolutely begin learning that now. That's what the certification program that I'm running is. I'm
Mm,
teaching people how to address these things.
I love that.
When I talk about my program has the capacity to correct incurable diseases, I'm talking about conditions that are medically documented and modern medicine cannot do anything about it. And we have been able to reverse that. I have medical documentation of this. I don't emphasize it enough just because it's kind of, I don't know why. I don't know why. I've helped people with strokes. I've helped people with quite a few different things. One of the most publicly shared things that I've done was assist my own brother with completely reversing his end stage heart failure. 2 years ago, he was given 3 days to 3 weeks to live. Today, he's harassing me, being funny and teasing me, and he has no heart failure.
I love that. I
You
love.
know, and according to allopathic medicine, modern medicine, once the heart is damaged, it cannot be undone. You simply have to make do with what you have left. And
Mm-hmm,
when I tell you he was end stage heart failure, when I finally worked on him, he was being prepared for an LVAD surgery, left ventricle assist device. That's a bridge procedure that hopefully will keep you alive long enough to get a heart transplant. That was the only solution the specialists had for him. So the gravity of the work that I can do, the work that I teach others to do, it is profound.
definitely.
It is profound.
Definitely. And I'm glad somebody brought those more major cases up because this is what she does all day, every day. This is her life. She doesn't brag about it a lot, but this is her life. And there are cases that may not be as major, but still people are affected. Guys, I don't know how many of you may have grown up with asthma or around someone with asthma, but I did. I grew up with asthma, and it is a terrible feeling to feel like you can't breathe. Now, I've mostly outgrown asthmatic symptoms and everything. But if I get sick, something respiratory, those things can come back. I was very sick not too long ago. And let me tell you something. You know what helped more than anything? K33 in these energy work helped me more than anything. And I wanted to not say anything at first. Let me try to, work on processing some things. But girl, at the point of, it's like, you know what? I think I'll take that Emmy K33 for 200, Alex.
I know when you reached out, I was like, girl,
Yeah.
you are going to rupture vocal cords.
It felt like it too. I think I mentioned something like that. I was like, it feels like, a vocal cord maybe, but I'm telling you, like I didn't reach out until that time, but I will tell anybody I wasn't feeling very well at all. It's a lot of stuff going on, family and everything like that. So my defenses were a little bit, not where they would have been. But I reached out. I got the energy work. I felt better. But not only that, guys, within 2 days, like I felt better immediately, but within 2 days, everything just right on back, getting right on back to my normal energy, everything. So I have to say that sometimes I don't think people understand what you do, right? And you work with the energy, and sometimes those things can a lot of times, those things can greatly affect a person's health, a person's emotional state, spiritual state, energetic state, what have you. So, guys, you gotta know about this stuff. K33 is good stuff. When she has expedite sessions, like and some people still don't know what an expedite is. An expedite is just a more condensed, shortened version of the energy work that she does in a private session. On expedites, they're live streams, but you're getting energy work, you're getting readings, what have you. It's good stuff. And you're going to have one today. Is that correct?
Yeah. Do you mind if I share a little bit about that?
No, I don't. I would love for you to, because this one is a bit different, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. So I do want to put something on the screen really quick. I'm going to be doing expedites today, 5:30, oh no, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the expedites that I'm going to be doing is to benefit this family. What's been going on is that this is an elderly couple, and Karen, the wife, she's a really good friend of mine. I've known her for quite some time. She's the artist that did the artwork for my oracle deck. She's the artist. Her husband has Parkinson's, and he had a very bad fall earlier this month. He's been in the ICU for quite a bit. He had a brain bleed, broken ribs.
Mm,
Uh, he has a fractured vertebrae. Um, the most recent public update was that he actually failed the swallow test. He was intubated. It's bad. It's bad.
mm. It's okay.
She's not someone to ask for help ever. They've been through a lot in the past 2 years. A lot. She almost never accepts help from me. The only time she's accepted from me was in exchange for her artwork. She would never take donations or anything like that. She didn't even want to accept a gift of a copy of the Oracle deck. She wanted to be able to pay for it because she didn't want to take advantage of my kindness. So when she asks for help, it's serious.
Mm,
In the past year alone, they've been displaced because first, the property they were at was sold. Despite having prepaid for X amount of time, the owner decided to sell and force them out. Um, I didn't ask her how that turned out. I didn't want to violate her privacy. More recently, this past, I believe, summer or autumn, she had a bag of potting soil on the back deck, and they're from Texas, and it caught fire. The only reason I know is because She knows I'm very, very fond of plants, and she wanted to make sure that I don't ever experience that. The fire was devastating for their family. She didn't complain, she didn't ask for any donations. They need help with rent for the next at least month or two. They need help with utilities, they need help with groceries. Um, I want to do these expedites to raise as much as I possibly can, to kind of help with that. I also am in the process of finding someone local who can connect them to a social worker who can get them more longer term support from the state. So it's a pretty serious thing. They really do need help. If you guys want to, they also have they have a GoFundMe that their family has created for them. It has the updates of what's going on with Danny, and kind of what the money will be used for. This is a very beautiful couple.
Mm.
They are so respectful of other people. They're some of the kindest people I've ever come across. Like, so kind, so kind.
Mm.
And I would like to just be able to help them. You know, it's difficult because when you reach a certain part of your life, it shouldn't be so hard.
Yeah.
And the world is structured to make it as hard as possible once you reach the most vulnerable stage of your life.
Yes.
So the funds that they're trying to raise doesn't even include the cost of the medical bills, which will be astronomical being in the ICU. That will be astronomical. And they don't know if their insurance will cover it. The hospital has not let them know yet if it will cover it. And you guys, the thing is this. Um, People will say, the very inconsiderate and unaware individuals will say, well, you didn't get that age out of nowhere. You didn't reach that age overnight. You should have planned. Guess what? Life happens.
Yes.
We don't all have the luxury to plan. We exist in environments and societies that seek to crush us at every age, every step of the way. It's not about planning, it's about seeing an opportunity for us to come together as a community and provide support where support is very deeply and greatly needed.
Yeah.
So one of the things that kind of soothes my heart a little bit is that they do have a very loving family that's trying very hard to help and support and encourage, um, and be really like an emotional rock for them. So they're not completely alone in their area, but there is definitely still a need to help them until they can figure out, what they're going to do long term. They're not even sure how long Danny's going to be in the hospital. So when I do these expedites, oftentimes I already have something earmarked. I have something that's earmarked, and that's why I'm doing the expedites. I usually don't announce why, what I'm trying to quickly earn some funds for. This time, everyone needs to know this is urgent. There is a very serious, very urgent need, and it's important. If you've wanted some type of energy work done, please consider this fundraiser event to be the time you choose to have me do energy work on you. I'm more than willing to earn the funds that I will be giving them. If you want to donate directly to the family, I have to, let me go ahead and see if I can, let me get the link for you guys. And I'm sorry, guys, we can't allow PayPal on the SoulWorks Synergistics website as a processor. PayPal is not honoring our what do you call it? Our nonprofit status. So we can't process with them. In addition to that, PayPal absolutely lacks integrity, and we don't want um, even our fees to support that. I'll get you guys the link for the GoFundMe. Um,
It's like Lindsay got it.
oh, did she? She beat me to it. Yeah, here it is. Here's the link for the GoFundMe. You can donate directly to their family. If it's not going to work because we only have limited options for our processor for the nonprofit, I absolutely welcome you guys to donate directly to the family by going to GoFundMe. Um, what I earned today doing expedites for their family, I'm not going to be putting it through GoFundMe just in case excuse me, just in case they're pulling out a fee. I'm going to be wiring it directly to Karen and Danny. So, either way, they're going to get the money. It doesn't matter. Whichever way works for you guys, please go ahead and do that. As long as, our community can give them some type of support, they really do need it. So the energy work that I do it for various reasons. And you're right. I don't talk about the gravity of the work I do enough. I'm working on that. I'm definitely working on that. I come from a mindset of I question the integrity and how it will be received if I share it with other people. And plus, I like to just keep it to myself. But it's important for others to begin witnessing the normalization of functioning as a community, not as a martyr, you know what I mean? Not as a martyr, but as a community where, there's a need. I have some little limited ability to help. Okay, let me go ahead and do that. So it's just one of those things, it's important for us to consistently find the courage to share the ways in which we are creating community, bonding, community support.
Yes. Can I share with them how this topic came about last night?
Sure.
Okay. Because, like Emmy said, we've been doing a lot behind the scenes for planning and trying to get everything lined up. But we haven't really talked about the Soul Sanctuary um, at lengths like this publicly in a while. But how this became the topic of today is just last night, Emmy was talking about how she's going to have the expedite stream and everything. And if you guys don't know Emmy, it's not an act. Like, this is really who she is. Like, her heart is really big. And she just wanted to do more. She just, this sense of sadness for not being able to do as much as she wanted to do. And it kind of segued into the purpose of the Soul Sanctuary and the normalizing of stability and support for communities locally and globally. And I just want to share that because that's how this came about. Like, this woman, she's such a beautiful soul. She's such a beautiful soul, guys. Like, that was really the discussion. Like, knowing she can't do everything, but just that feeling like that it doesn't make it go away when you do what you can do. But guys, sometimes all we can do is all we can do. But when we work together, those things that we would have been able to achieve individually, we can multiply our impact by so much. So it means a lot to us that you support yourselves, you support the efforts to help just individually and collectively humanity, because that's what it's really all about. Thank you for that.
And kind of continuing some of what we were talking about last night,
Mhm,
it's this need to be realistic in regards to what I can do,
mhm,
the limitations that I have to work with, and knowing that help doesn't just come in the form of money being donated.
mhm,
Help is something that sometimes it's more helpful to be able to show through action how deeply we care,
mhm,
right? By the sharing, by the speaking, by the reaching out, by the offering of, like I had messaged Karen, like, hey, I don't know if you've eaten yet. If you give me a location and an address, I will launch whatever DoorDash restaurant you want, and just I have it delivered directly to you. You must have not rested yet. And
mhm,
just things like that,
mhm,
I don't always have the ability to donate thousands of dollars at one time, but I do make it a point, like, if I know someone, and they don't have to be close to me, but if I know someone and they have family in the hospital and clearly they've been pretty much living at the hospital, I'm quick to privately message and be like, hey, what's the hospital address and the room number? I'm not going to come visit, don't worry, I'm going to stalk you, but what kind of food do you like? I'll send you some DoorDash. They'll take it downstairs. You probably have to go down, but I want to make sure you eat. Have you drank anything today? Have you gotten a chance to nap? It's important to ask these type of questions because it really shows that you care, that their well-being is important to you.
absolutely. I want to mention something also, because I don't know if those who are not familiar um, with Karen, I don't know if they're making that connection. Do you guys know that wonderful deck that Emmy has? I love it. That's like
Yeah.
this wonderful deck right here.
This is her artwork. Yeah. She created the artwork. She's the only one that I had in mind to do the artwork for my deck. Took me quite a few years to like, Karen, I'm finally ready,
Mm,
and she was patient the whole time. The
mm,
whole time she was just like, you know, she's an amazing person. I've had so many conversations with her over the years,
mm,
and she's really fueled a lot of my growth. Not
mm.
by lecturing me, but just, not even by me venting, but just her
Being
presence.
present, just
Yeah.
being. And I don't know how many of you have that deck. I mean, she uses it, so so many of us have benefited from just her live streams and when Emmy is using the deck and everything. But some of us have that deck personally, and some of us have been touched personally. Like the artwork is just not artwork; it's very special. It
Yeah.
is very special.
Yes. Yeah. Her Facebook screen name is Colors Magica,
Mm,
and she is just such a magical being.
mm,
And
mm,
her magic has never been condescending or competitive,
mhm.
ever. For as long as I've known her, she has been the most humblest, most kindest person. And it's a genuine kindness. It's
Mm,
not a fake kindness. It's not an act. She's not one to interact with someone if she's not feeling your energy. She's not going to say nothing. She's just not going to interact.
my type of person. Oh, no, because I can with the fakeness. I cannot with the fakeness. And I
No.
appreciate those types of people. And, Emmy, as we're talking about these things, I just thought about how we wanted to have her. We wanted to interview her as an artist and as the artist for that particular deck.
Yeah.
But we weren't able to with life, everything. She's not had such, it's been hard for her.
She hasn't complained once.
Wow,
Not in any posts, not privately. She hasn't complained once.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because all these things you're mentioning, I didn't even know all these things were going on with her.
That's why when you asked me if we could have her come on and, use art as a medium for magic and,
Mhm.
therapy and stuff, I was like, I don't know if she had been displaced by the fire. And I didn't want to like disrupt whatever they were doing and where they were at. I didn't want to be disruptive. What just really got me yesterday, because I've been hopping onto Facebook for a few minutes just to kind of fix some of the details of live streams every morning when I go live. And I've seen a couple of the posts that her husband had an accident, and I'm kind of like, I hope he's okay. Maybe
Mhm.
it's not as bad, okay. And then I saw her post on the Soul Sanctuary group,
Mhm.
um, on Facebook in our community group, and she was asking for prayers, and I was like, it's bad. The
Mm.
fact that she's asking, it's bad.
That has
It's
to,
bad. She's
yeah.
struggling. Yeah.
Mhm. Mm.
But at no point did she message me asking me for anything. And I've been commenting in her post, let me know what you need, because she knows I'll do it for her.
Of course. That
Yeah.
speaks a lot about the kind of person she is. A,
Yeah.
a lot. Because there is no shortage of people who won't even be in need and will try to exploit one's goodness, one's kindness.
Yeah.
But she is in extreme need, and not once did she even ask.
Yeah.
And then when she did ask, she asked for prayers.
And that's it. She didn't even tag me. She didn't tag me. And I was just like, girl.
The soul sanctuary has to happen. I'm
Yeah.
so glad that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But this is a part of it too, guys. We want to have stability and have the tools to thrive. So that is a normalized part of life for us. But also, we want to have things in place so we can mobilize if support is needed. And it's not one or two or three people trying to make things happen. The infrastructure is in place to support people in every way possible. I love that.
I would love to have a group that can mobilize and go to any state within 24 hours once we're made aware that a member of our community is in need. And it's not necessarily that, oh, we need to give you $5,000. It's like, okay, you have family in the hospital. Hey, you need a babysitter. You need an
Yes,
animal sitter. You need someone to kind of just cook meals for a
absolutely.
week. Being
Absolutely.
able to mobilize a group like that is powerful.
Absolutely. And think about it. Anybody who would be involved in doing that, they already have to have um, understanding of energy, right? They have to have a basic understanding of energy and everything. Can you imagine somebody like that being able to just hold space for you,
Yep.
being able to just come where you are to hold space? Can you imagine it, guys? We are moving past imagining to actually putting in place. And we know that there are people who are just like us here who want to be there for other people, who want to be there for themselves and make things stable for themselves and thrive for themselves and carry it on to other people. And to teach generations that, for generations that have yet to be born, a different way. Because another way is possible. This is all about another way of seeing, another way of being, another way of existing. Because the way that things are, guys, I don't care how people in suits and ties or t-shirts or whatever want to tell you that this is the way that it's supposed to be. No, it's not the way that it has to be.
No.
And we do have the power to become the change we want to see in this world.
Yeah, and it's small things. We
Yes.
change the world through small acts of kindness,
Mhm.
true, genuine compassion and concern. One
Mhm.
of the things that I kind of use as a benchmark when I'm doing the final examination for my students doing the certification program, do I feel genuine compassion and concern when they work on me, when they work on a client? Because if not, then I don't know what you're representing, but it's not me or my system.
Mhm. Say that.
That's important to have genuine compassion and concern. How many of us have someone that we know will come, no questions asked, if we're in the hospital?
But the sad part is, how many of us know that at this point we don't? And
Yeah.
it's sad. I have seen it. I have seen people who really don't have anyone. I have seen it. I
Yeah.
have been in spaces where it's sad, but even the children
Yeah.
are well aware of the fact that nobody's coming. I don't
Yeah.
have anybody.
That's painful.
It's so painful.
Yeah.
And the worst part to me is a lot of them are so used to it, they're not even hurt. They're desensitized completely.
Yeah.
All they've known. Because it doesn't have to be this way. And you know what? I'm determined. I'm determined that that's not going to be my way. And no, I can't change everything, but the things that I can touch and the things that are in my power to change, I absolutely want to do my part to touch and change.
I think one of the most powerful things that we can do as individuals is reach a moment of clarity where we realize it's not our job to change other people's journey. It's
Mm,
our job to live such a beautiful life and invite people to join us. And what they see is so beautiful, they choose to.
that's beautiful. So you're still touching and changing, but you're not trying to direct the process. You're
Mhm.
just touching and changing the things that you can change, even if that's just you. That's
Yeah.
I'm touching and changing myself, and that can inspire somebody else to be touched and inspire somebody else and a whole group of people, you know?
Yeah. And I didn't think that that would work, but I just got so tired of feeling so heartbroken over trying so hard to create change and change never being able to be sustained that I finally gave up and I was just like, listen, this is how I live. You want to live like this too? Come on.
Yes, I love
And
it.
that's what changed everything. How
Yes,
many of you have felt your life has changed the moment you became a part of this online community?
absolutely.
Just by being present amongst people who have genuine care and concern, who
Mm,
have integrity. How
mm,
much has your life changed? And this is removing, like, it's not how has your life changed since you found Emmy? No, how
mm,
has your life changed since you've allowed yourself to be a part of our community?
mm,
You know? And I mean, did you have to try? Did you have to buy sessions with you? No,
mm,
just by being present with people who are like you, starving just like you,
mm, mm,
feeling as lost as you. When you feel lost and you're alone, it's devastating.
mm-hmm.
When you're on a road trip with a whole bunch of people that you enjoy and you guys are lost, it's an adventure, right?
So when you got a tank of gas, that GPS is working, and you know you get the map in the thing just in case, girl, just in case. But I want to read this comment. Village Baby. He says, it is just a thought about it alone, especially when you've been existing alone for a long time, no matter how many people are around you. That's a very real thing too, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's very real. That's very real.
Yeah.
Mm. And people are talking about how it's one, like Rosie, talking about how it's one of the few places she feels welcome. Um, KJ Skyweber says, my life has changed for sure. Renee says it's a safe place for me. And there's so many of us feel like that, right?
Yeah.
Think of what we can do, like when we're actually building something together with that passion that we have, the intelligence, the brilliance, the hearts that we have. We're actually building something together with people, like-minded people, like-hearted people, you know?
Yeah. I was telling Ocean last night, much to her dismay. She's like, I need rest and this and that. And I said, we have to come to terms with the fact that I have a different purpose, which gives me a different workload than others. I will never have a workload like other people because that's not what I was made to do. But I promise to never compromise my health again.
Good.
And that my hunger has returned to create a change, and that hunger is insatiable. and that we will make this happen this year. Whatever this is and how it happens, I don't know. But something's going to happen this year. It's going to be profound, and it will so positively and powerfully
Mhm.
affect our community in the most beautiful of ways.
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm.
Renee says, just by listening to Emmie and everyone who shares on here or in the group, my whole world, even how I see myself, has changed. That's powerful. When
Mm.
your vision changes, the way you live your life changes right along with it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Catherine says, I've fallen asleep while listening, as in UK, but it's because I feel safe to rest in there.
Mm. Wow.
That's powerful.
Yes.
Hmm. That's powerful.
Mm.
I'm curious, and it's just my own morbid curiosity. How many of you at one point had made it a habit to fall asleep to the sound of my live streams?
Mhm.
How has that affected you?
Mm.
Because I really don't know how to quantify the reason for my existence. I know there's a reasoning. I don't know how to quantify it, you know?
Sometimes people may not necessarily seek to fall asleep during your live streams, but like guys, I know I can't be the only one. I have gone astral sometimes listening to me. And that's not even a meditation meditation stream, but oh my gosh, the meditation ones. Whew, oh my goodness.
Girl, I'm so boring. I'm putting people to sleep. That's why my analytics are so high. My retention time is something like 25 minutes. Its average is like a minute, 2 minutes. I'm
That's
like, it's so high. It's because y'all are falling asleep.
hilarious. Being worked on as they sleep. That's beautiful.
Yeah, maybe I can do once a month or something where, I'll do a meditation for everyone on the Emmy Evolving channel. It's I mean, it's definitely been a journey for me personally, trying to just come to terms with, I guess, whatever it is I need to come to terms with, you know?
Yeah, girl. 2023 for you. And I don't have the power over anybody else's life to make this declaration, but I'm telling you, 2023, I'm going to harass you in a very beautiful way into letting that be one of your things for 2023. Just like one of my things for 2023, I've already declared this for myself. I'm receiving, I'm allowing myself to receive all that is beautiful for me and happy about it too, excited about it too.
Wait, but what am I supposed to receive in 2023?
No, girl, you in 2023, you're receiving too, but like you are, and I'm gonna get back in my lane in a minute. But that thing that you have about not wanting to really let yourself see who you are, what you are, and your impact, girl, that's so 22 and way old, that's so before 2023. It's time, girl. But you know what? It's not only time for yourself, but it's also time because of others too. That's how you got to get Emmy, guys. You got to tell us for other people.
Y'all gotta manipulate me in that way, because that's the only way it works. Like, Emmy, there's starving children
I know,
in the
right?
lotto. And then you have to be like, they starve
I
because
know, right?
you.
It's all seriousness. Just like you talked about how it's not in trying to focus on changing things so much. Like when you step into that, it gives others not only the example, but also it empowers others to feel, to know, to see, to witness. It is not only okay for me to be who I am, to step into who I am, to walk into my I amness, but to actually embrace that and to be that. Can you imagine how that can help change the world? When people are free to be who they are and they are accepting and acknowledging the greatness that they are.
Okay, I'll win the lotto.
Yes, girl.
One time I was outside of I think it was like 7-Eleven or something, and I was filling out lotto tickets, right? I was picking numbers. I had Bish. I had my pendulum, and my phone was on the front console of the car, and my brother decides to FaceTime me, and I wasn't even thinking, and I answered. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm picking numbers for lotto." He goes, "What's in your hand?" "My pendulum." And he goes, "Oh, you're using witchcraft to
Oh
win?"
my gosh.
He goes, "Tell me the numbers too." I was like, "You're interrupting my flow." Clearly, I didn't win anything.
Oh my goodness. I was about to say, don't make it weird. Don't make it
I know.
weird.
I think, I think there is a lot to say about how, I often tell you guys that I'm exactly where you're at and that we are basically one and the same. I still have so much that I'm working through and working on, and you see it. You see it. I'm still working through allowing myself to receive to the degree that's necessary for me to reach the next levels of
Mm,
what I need to do for not just myself, but for the world at large.
mm,
I don't believe I'm here to change the world.
mm,
I don't believe I'm here to save the world. I believe I'm here and created in such a way to be witness so the world can see there's another way to be
I like that.
and to give them the freedom to choose. Do you want to continue the same cycles or do you want to try a new way to live?
Mm. Do you feel that?
Mhm.
Mm. Whoa, that's beautiful. Are you going to allow yourself to be wherever that energy is offering? Because I feel it.
Um, I think I'm already there, but I continue to try and convince myself that I'm not.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you think that you're there, and I really believe that you know that you're there. Even if you don't yet believe it all the way, it's coming. It's coming. Yeah.
It is.
It's,
It's coming very soon.
yes. I love that.
I don't know what's coming. Something is coming. Hopefully, it's not demonic. I'm joking. Look at her face.
So can y'all feel that, fam? Because I know we have a lot of people that are sensitive to energy out there too. Do y'all feel that? And if you do, what do you feel? What does it feel like to you? What do you see? What do you think? What do you hear?
It feels like gas.
You know what? No more cake for you. The blueberries, girl.
um, I think my fear of who I'll become is dissipating.
Mm,
And like intellectually, I've known for a few years now that no matter, I guess you could say, no matter what my tax bracket, I'm still the same person because I'm just stubborn. I'm not going to change. That's not going to change me.
mhm.
Emotionally has been a far different journey. It's been a journey of still wondering and the uncertainty and the fear of who I'll become. And it's like, how much more needs to happen for me to finally get over the stubbornness of not knowing who I'll become? This is me. I've literally been like this since I was a child. There's no changing me at this point. You're
Yes.
just not going to change me.
Yeah. Yeah. No changing in a negative, funky way. I'm gonna tell you, I would not rock with you like I rock with you if I felt that you were even capable of that. You're not. You're
Yeah.
not.
No, you're right. Because when I come up with a half-baked idea that I'm, like, only partially presenting, and if it's half-baked, she can be like, "Mm-mm, girl, put that back in the oven. I'm not tasting none of that." And I'm like, "What? No, it'll be fine." Because remember I was like, "Just pick a park. Who cares? Pick a park. We will sell our bread wherever. I don't need no city permission." She goes, "No, I know, I know. We need confirmation in the email. We need the appropriate department." Like, girl, let me know what park to go to.
Oh
I will
goodness.
pop up the tent.
You know, that is so, it's beautiful that we can do that for each other though, because I definitely can be a person who's like policy procedure, you know, policy procedure,
Yeah.
compliance, but not in a way of like, to where it just restrains everything. But
No. No.
Emmy helps me to understand and that flow of it's okay to be in the present too. It's okay. Some things, yes, some things take that, and some things don't, right? So it's a beautiful balance. It's a
It
beautiful.
is. It is. And that's the key, is that it's a balance, because there's been plenty of times you've had to literally remind me, Emmy, you're not in the Bay Area no more. We can't do no savagery like that. You represent the church now. And I'm like, girl, we put up the Emmy Evolving Band. We don't put up the SWS.
Oh my goodness.
Do you remember that? I was like, take all the stickers off the
Yeah.
bread.
I'm like,
She's like, no, no, no.
right.
I told her, Lindsay, and the rest of take all the stickers off the bread, slap
Mm.
on Emmy Evolving. I will donate it all to them.
I know, girl. We're
She's
gonna
like,
pray to get you some good food, and you're gonna sit down, and you're gonna be just fine. Because we're not doing that, but we all love each other here.
that's exactly how it happened, you guys. Because Frey was there at his desk. He was like she's doing her crazy Bay Area stuff again. Like, oh my God. Nobody's gonna get arrested is me. They're gonna be like, oh no, she's just a little girl. Then no one's gonna think she's a mastermind of this. And yeah. And then what they did was they bought Thai food, and then I was like, okay, we should just watch a movie tonight.
Right? La, la, la.
Yeah. And then I know you and Frey looked at each other like, oh, Christ is everybody leave the stickers on.
Hilarious.
Yeah. That's what happens when you work with me. I'm like, I don't care about no rules. We'll keep them in bins. As soon as the cops roll up, close the trunk. We're out. We're out.
What happened if Emmy worked by herself and didn't have somebody like me?
I'm telling you, girl. You
But
know,
if we didn't have somebody like Emmy, then there would be too much structure, too much, you know? So it's beautiful. And everybody on the board, we're all like that, like it just balances out in such a wonderful way. And speaking of that, like that steering committee, I'm so excited about the founder circle for the Soul Sanctuary because I have a feeling, and I mean, I know it's going to be kept pretty close knit, close knit, pretty small. But that is going to be a very highly effective, efficient, wonderful, just brilliant team. I
yeah.
love that.
Yes, definitely, because that team will be working very closely with our board to
Mhm.
ensure that the program ideas that our board has can be implemented within the community at the highest level possible.
I love
Where it's not just um, certain types of backgrounds that the board itself has that we have
it. Mhm.
that is being considered. Because I mean, we really can only see life based on how we've lived, right? And if we haven't lived like the other people who need these programs, we
Absolutely.
don't know what other needs need to be accounted for.
That's right. And I'm a very big believer in that.
Yeah.
Some of the people who need to be at the forefront of program design are people who have lived through it. You know,
Yes.
you have people who have, certain levels of experience academically, professionally, and that is important too. That has its place too,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make the people who have lived it any less important. They need to be at the forefront too. Everybody who needs to be there. No more excluding people who are the most affected by these things from the programs design that can help, uplift so many people.
Yes. And I also want to say 2 points before we go. The first point is we don't believe in exclusion, but we also believe simultaneously in protecting the community.
Yes.
So, what that means is if a person is deemed very toxic for all members, not just one, but for everyone's experience, everyone's growth, you
Mhm.
will have to be excluded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until you address the toxicity, there is no reason for us as people who are serving as stewards of our community to
Yes.
allow for the access of toxicity.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all know me. I'm very real. I'm very upfront. We accept everyone, but we will not accept toxicity.
Mm-mm.
It's not a rejection of the person, it's a rejection of the behaviors and the energy, and we reserve the right to do that.
Absolutely.
Secondly, it is my very deeply held belief that your life has been preparing you for your purpose.
Yes.
And for many of you, the life that you've lived is the very thing you are going to be contributing to our growth as a community. We
Mm.
need to hear from you. We need to be familiarized with your story, your experiences, how you've grown. This is how we grow each other. This is what makes our community so valuable.
Mhm.
And, it's one of those things where I just want to make sure that for those of us who are more bashful, we're shy about sharing ourselves. We think that, we don't have any certificates or degrees or any of that. So therefore, we're not valuable. No. You look at Ocean and I, Ocean has a whole bunch of educational accomplishments. I have none. Both of us are equally valuable.
Equally valuable.
Equally valuable. I am able to draw from my life experience and a lot of my own personal learning, and Ocean is as well. The
Mm.
whole concept of you have to have achieved something that is validated externally by a governing body, it doesn't apply to our community.
Mhm.
But at the same time, we celebrate if you've achieved something. I mean, come on now. That's not something you need to be ashamed of either.
Mhm.
This is
Mhm.
truly a place where, we're wanting the whole person
Yeah.
to come out of you.
That's right. And those strengths help to complement one another. There are
Mhm.
different strengths in different areas. You may have something that I may not have. In one area, you may not have something that I do have. And that is the whole purpose of coming together anyway. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Definitely. And, I think we as a community are being positioned in such a way where this is the year we're really going to make a lot of the programs come to fruition, where we're going to begin breaking ground at the campus location, at the Soul Sanctuary campus. We're going to be able to begin offering tangible services for those in need, especially in local communities where we have a presence already being established. These are updates that you as part of our community are needing to be aware of. We are working diligently. If there's not a single day that goes by that our entire team is not thinking of all the different ways and all the different other things that need to be done to bring things to fruition. This is something so important to us, so important that for pretty much the entire board, everything else has been paused except for the focus of bringing this to fruition. And you guys need to be made aware of that. There's a lot of sacrifices being made, and there's no trying to guilt you guys that's going on here. It's this wanting to just let you know we are fully committed to this. It's not a project. It's not a social media clout chasing game.
Mhm.
We've literally sacrificed large portions of our life
Mhm.
to do this, to make this happen, taking risks, taking those leaps of faith. I mean, Ocean, she had to relocate. That's a long distance you relocated.
Mhm.
It's a long distance, and there was no promise, no guarantee that anything would work out. It's just that leap of faith and this knowing. Well, I'll let you speak on that. What got you to agree to relocate, not just yourself but your family?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I can summarize it. There are two things: knowing who you are and knowing what I want to see, and the combination of those two things to give me the ease to go ahead and make that leap. Because I'm the kind of person, and yeah, no,
Yeah.
most people in this world, that I would, hey, I can support you in another way. You know what I'm saying? Let me, let me support you in a different way. I'll still support you, but it's not going to be in that way, that up close, and no, 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 not like that. But knowing who you are, and knowing that these things can, must, and will be, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the second couldn't have happened without the first, That's a very important part, because it's very important. I would say, guys, I don't know about how you all feel, but for me, it's very important, if I'm going to be working so closely with someone for anything, especially for something concerning humanity, I have to have a very high level of trust. I have to have observed and know how the person or people function, and the integrity is there, it's intact. So that's how, Emmy.
It's a lot.
Hmm.
It's a lot. Like, you were able to very succinctly wrap it up in a nutshell, but that's still a huge leap of faith.
Hmm.
Huge, huge, huge leap of faith.
Hmm.
And it's this thing of the community needs to know we've all taken a massive leap of
Yes,
faith.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We have. But there's a proverb, and it goes something to the effect of, to get that which we have never had, we
Mhm.
must do that which we have never done.
Yes.
So it's 2023, guys, and on individual, smaller levels, micro levels, and also on larger, collective, more macro levels, to get that which we have never had. We must do that which has never been done. We must do that which we have never done, rather, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know about everybody, but I know about myself. I know about you. I know about some of us who are really ready, and I'm really ready. Really
Are
ready.
you guys ready? I'm ready. Ocean's ready.
We ready? Yes, absolutely. Hey, y'all don't know. I mean, I'm pretty, proper little something, but got a little hood too, guys. You may not know, but it's a beautiful thing to be a totality.
Yeah, no, I could picture that. Like, if you and I were out and someone was being like mad disrespectful, I could picture you taking your slipper off and beating them with it.
We talked about this before,
I
guys.
know.
A very serious conversation once, and all I could say was, I'm very happy that I wasn't there in that same space.
Right. I was thinking that too.
It's okay to be sweet, to be kind, to be loving, to be compassionate, empathic, and it's also okay to not take nonsense that you don't have to take. It's okay to be the totalities that we are.
Yeah. Are you talking about when I went to the grocery store?
Mhm.
Girl. Yeah.
You got those moments when I make pound cake crumbles. That's right.
Yeah, no, I was gonna wait for you too, and I was like, "No, you know what? I should just hurry and go." And luckily it was Frey and I, because Frey be like, "Oh god." Her thug is coming out of her
Oh
soul.
yes. Oh
But
yes.
you know, if it was me and you, it would have been like, girl, we got bail. No, it's all good. We off this week.
Absolutely. Hey,
I can totally see you going on your phone. How long will we be held in the tank if we be
no, I don't necessarily have to go on the phone. You know that's part of that academic background.
uh-huh.
It's political. You know what I'm saying? We got it, girl. We're good. We got it covered. But it's good to check up and just make sure because different states, different laws.
Right? I'm over here like, okay, reminder to self. I can't be the only one that's winning because then it's not mutual combat. Then I'm the aggressor. So I'm just gonna have to let you just kind of leave a few marks.
Okay,
Mutual
okay.
combat.
Absolutely. You know, we want to make sure that we are still logical, still being rational, objective as we, plan to do what needs to be done. We're still reasonable people.
Should I be teaching the divine masculine course?
What do you say? What do you say?
Should I be teaching the divine masculine course? I mean, I'm pretty masculine, girl.
I think that there is room for totality. I just think there's room for totality all the time. So,
Yeah, okay. The final thought. I think I'm more toxic masculine than a toxic male. I'm like, oh, we gonna make you submit. That's it. That's
no, I wouldn't even say because I don't like to be around people who are just toxic. Like you're not.
I'm joking.
Yeah, yeah, of course she's joking, but we're not joking about this. We're not joking about, first of all, it's okay and it's honorable to honor ourselves and to love ourselves in a way in which we don't just allow ourselves to be treated in just any kind of way, in a way that doesn't a way that doesn't honor our souls, whether it's for ourselves, whether it's for, you know, other relationships outside of ourselves. And it's 2023, people. All I can say is it's time for us to it's time for us to honor ourselves in every way possible, right? Honor each other. It's time for the things that honor our souls to be the things that reflect our lives, the things that reflect in our surroundings and within and without, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Being a whole being
Yes.
and knowing what response is appropriate at what time.
Hmm.
Not everything deserves a response. Not everything needs a response. And just knowing that you maintaining your boundaries is quite possibly the most powerful thing you can do. And sometimes the maintenance of that boundary is just quietly walking away.
Hmm.
And we joke around a lot,
Hmm.
and I don't want anyone to take the jokes that sometimes my jokes are a little too advanced and they sound real. So just a disclaimer, you know, I'm not really gonna fist fight anybody.
You can speak for yourself because if I need
I
to,
mean, yeah, if you force me, if you have, if I have no option, absolutely,
right.
absolutely. But
Yeah.
if I have an option to walk away, I'm gonna have to exercise the option to walk away.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's part of being mature. That's part of respecting your energy and yourself, in a way that needs to be respected anyway. That's very it's part of being mature, and we definitely have to. I feel it's important for us to focus on that emotional maturity and understanding what's necessary from what's not necessary, because guys, that can just save a whole lot of nonsense, a whole lot of unnecessary nonsense. It can help just enhance our lives in the most beautiful ways by simply knowing what's necessary from what's not necessary and moving accordingly.
Yes, moving accordingly. That's powerful.
Mm.
That's powerful. So, guys, we're going to switch over to the after party. If you want to join us, if you want to be considered and apply for the community founder circle, join us over at the soulsanctuary.love. In order to be a part of that community, you need to be part of the recurring contribution. We have tiers as low as $15 a month. Um, you know, you're definitely, if that's not in your budget, then you can definitely join us when we have podcasts. When I do my evolving readings in the morning, you could definitely have that option. No matter what, I want you guys to know you're not alone in this journey. You are heavily supported and you're very much needed. Okay. So for those who are part of the TSS family, let's head over to the after party. We got a whole bunch of announcements we want to make, different projects we have, our group trip. We
Lots of
can't talk about that here.
lots of good stuff.
Lots of good stuff. So I'll see you guys over there. Thank you, everyone. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when we're live. We'll see you again very soon. Bye, everyone.